What is up, everyone? So in today's video, we're pretty much going to be breaking down Bergen Resnick's challenge funnel, aka Brez Scales. Now, this challenge funnel is a little bit different than the typical challenge funnels that you know of, which are more value-based. This was a more cinematic, entertainment-based challenge funnel, which was still designed to bring sales through the funnel. Before we go ahead, break this funnel down, if you guys do not know me, everything I make on this channel is about challenge funnels. That's everything I do. That's all I do for my clients. And the last challenge funnel I ran, I did $700,000 with my client. Now, I don't need to show proof. You guys can go ahead, watch the video in the description. I did a 2-hour raw documentation of exactly how I generate $700,000 for my client using a challenge funnel. But let's go ahead and break down Brez Scales' $1 million challenge funnel. We're going to get very, very in depth. Now, starting from the top, how he brings traffic into his funnel. So just to give you guys a little bit of background of what this challenge was, pretty much a 3-day live event where in this case, this challenge was pre-recorded, designed to sell the person, break beliefs, etc. So Brez Scales hosted his challenge on his YouTube channel and it was called The Only Decision, pretty much tailored to tell his audience it comes down to one single decision that will get them to their dream outcome of where they want to be in life in terms of lifestyle, in terms of business, financials, location freedom, time freedom, everything that they want in their life to become successful. It comes down to one single decision. So starting from the top, how did he bring traffic to his funnel? So he ran Facebook ads from his TikTok. He has like 655,000 followers. He ran Instagram story sequences. He had a CTA in his Instagram bio. He had a CTA link in the bio of all of his YouTube videos. And he also drove traffic from his email list. Not sure why there's no online connected, but all of that driving them into the Only Decision challenge funnel. So it was a free event and this is what the challenge funnel looked like, right? So I have a little bit of a skeleton going on over here in case, and if you guys want to replicate this, this is the exact format that he used for his landing page. So it was a live urgency countdown, header and event date, hero, VSL, call to action to register, outcomes to expect, call to action to register, urgency, and another call to action to register, and FAQ, another call to action to register, right? So this is what it is, the live countdown timer, live events time and day, so they know exactly when the event is happening, headline, and he's got like this little Chrome Hearts background going on. This is actually a very smart play because this digs more deep into targeting the ICP he's trying to attract. His audience is 18 to 24-year-olds trying to make money, have maybe done a few business models or have not started business at all, but are interested in business, and they look at TJR, Brez Scales, and they associate them with like Chrome Hearts. That just further digs into the desire of his ICP. Smart play. Now, this is where I think he could have done better. He says going offline in 33 minutes. I guess it will work for people who are super unaware with just business and scarcity and urgency, but I believe that most of his audience kind of have some logic. So they know that if the event is starting on September 15th and they're seeing this like a month prior, I don't think the lander is probably not going to go offline and he's going to stop promoting the event. So I do think instead of this, he should have just done a countdown to when the event is actually starting. I think that would have been better, but I guess he wanted some urgency going on over there. Then he had like this little VSL video. I'll play it in just a second. Then a few outcomes to expect or further targeting the desire. This is what they'll learn or position them better. So obviously he knows his ICP very well. That's why he's saying leave the hometown, how to get paid anywhere from anywhere in the world, and then learn the truth. I guess that's the only decision I assume. And some more urgency going on over there. I'd hope that should have been more aligned with the top, with the urgency going on top 2 different times. Claim your spot, which is a CTA, and then like a little FAQ section down here. This is a VSL that was on his landing page, and he uses VTurb or Vidalytics. You can use any of them for a seeking bar. So I'll show you what the seeking bar looks like. So this bar is going faster, so it makes the video look shorter than it actually is, right? So it pretty much just speeds up for like the first 60% of the video and then it starts to slow down. Pretty good VSL. He digs into desires, pain points, transformation, and obviously like the little CTA to register, making sure that they enter in the information right? So they click the call to action to register, then they get redirected to later on down in the page, which is like this section of the funnel, and it just opens up a register application, which is pretty much just a type form. These are the questions he asked. So like name, goal within 3 to 6 months, current income at the moment, phone number, and then what email they should send the free ticket. So collecting the necessities, getting insight on the type of people they're attracting to this event and how financially qualified they are. Also their goals within the next 3 to 6 months to further target later on down the funnel when they want to call up the lead. They can kind of dig into that. One thing that I did notice that they could have improved on is that they had none of the links coming from the traffic onto the landing page. They had none of them UTM'd, meaning they can't track where most of their audience is coming from, where most of the traffic is coming from. I'm not sure if they had cookies installed installed or whatever, but they should have had this UTM, especially when it comes to Brez and like at the scale he's operating. They definitely should have had their links UTM'd. Then pretty much after they register, this is what happens on the back end. They add a tag for the register to go into a reminder sequence where they'll pretty much get reminder and all for emails and reminder and all for SMSs. So pretty much putting them in the email and SMS list. After they submit the application form, they get sent to a confirmation page, and this is the skeleton of what the confirmation page actually looked like for them. So event live countdown, which I believe should have also been on the landing page. Urgency to join the group chat, which is a WhatsApp group chat where they send reminders, header, hero, video for next steps of what they should do next. Call to action to join the group chat, and then 4 other different call to actions. So this is what his confirmation page looked like. One thing I did not like over here, which I do think he could have done better, is that he said time left before your spot is given away. Now this could have been improved a little bit better. I do think that if he was to say before your spot is given away, he should have given more of a rationale as to why the spot would have been potentially given away, right? He didn't really explain, which, you know, it's not the best look, right? So I did also add a comment over here. Is this not a good moral look to give someone's spot away after they've registered, especially when there's no rationale as to why their spot would have been given away? So he should have said something like, to ensure serious people are able to attend because spots are limited. Now that would make way more sense as to why the spots will be given away and makes the CTA hit even harder. So that would have been a lot better. And then he's got his headline, a little VSL. I'm not going to play this one, the other one was way too long. But if you guys do want this whole mirror board or this whole Figma board, I'll leave a link below for you to grab your own copy of this. And then he had 4 different call to actions, which is not only overwhelming, but a lot of areas for the attendees to drop off, because I can almost guarantee that about 80% or 70% of the traffic that he sent through this did not CTA on every single one of these buttons. So this should have been the main CTA, and then he had 3 buttons to check their inbox. And this is just to check their inbox. This CTA should just not have been there. They would have received it anyways. You could have just said check your inbox, but taking them out of this landing page where there's more important CTAs for them to click on, that is probably the least, or the second least. I think the Snapchat is probably the least CTA to have, but that shouldn't be there. And then where he says claim your ticket, it makes them add each and every single episode to their calendar, right? So add episode 1, then they need to go back to the confirmation page, add episode 2, and go back to the confirmation page again and add episode 3, right? So they always have to add it and then X out and then go back to the confirmation page, add it, X out, and then you want to join the WhatsApp group and then add a Snapchat and then make sure it's in the inbox. It's way too many CTAs. Instead, what I would have done over here is have one CTA where it adds all 3 days to the calendar. And there is a way to do that. I'm not sure if they knew how to do that, but that's somewhere where they could have improved on. And then he had a CTA to add a Snapchat and also like a review details section. I do think if he had a review details section, I guess just to make sure that the information they provided is correct. But if it wasn't, they would just have to fill out the whole application again. So I believe if they had like a review details section, they should have had like a change your email as well, just in case, or change your phone number in case it was wrong. Otherwise, it's like too many steps. So this is quite unnecessary. I do think the CTA should have just been to join the WhatsApp group and then one button to add all 3 days to their calendar. And that's about it. But that's the calendar page. And then this is pretty much welcome email that all the registrants have received. It pretty much goes, it's Brez, listen up, copyright technique. So if you guys want to read through this, I'll just skim through it, exit out. But this is what his welcome email looked like. Then they go ahead, click join WhatsApp group, and then that's when they'll get reminder messages and offer messages inside of that WhatsApp group. And it looks something like this. Another technique he uses is that he would record a video, and the software he uses would take that video and send it to every single group chat that he has. Yes, in this screenshot he has about 76, probably even more depending on the number of registrants he had, but obviously he's not sending this WhatsApp video to 6 groups. So it's the software that he uses. Now closer to the event date, he did like another IG story sequence, and obviously he did quite a few Instagram story sequences to build more anticipation for the event. But he did this with incentives, right? He pretty much says, we are 48 hours away from the release of my 3-day film. I am giving away $5,000 to one viewer who is signed up and comments scale on all 3 episodes and has still a CTA to sign up for the event. Now the reason he does this is because the event is being hosted on YouTube, and the more comments there are on YouTube videos, the better it optimizes for the algorithm to show the video to more people. So he's pretty much trying to make sure that everyone who subscribes is watching this, and also maybe some cold audience where it kind of just shows up their YouTube homepage, for example. So that's why he's incentivizing people to comment on all 3 days of his 3-day live movie. So this is everything that happens before the event. Now, during the event, he had these 3 videos, which was day 1 was 15 minutes long, day 2 was 10 minutes long, and day 3 was 45 minutes long. Now, something I do think he could have done better over here is 1, make these videos just a slightly longer, and 2, the one day where the video was the longest, it was a sales pitch. So now, because he did this, it just made like the whole event feel like a sales pitch, because these were pretty short, and then it was 45 minutes of just straight pitching and selling the audience. And this is what his reminders looked like. He did SMSs, which was like the pre-event reminders. He did mid-event reminders and post-event reminders, right? So email and SMSs for mid-event reminders, pretty much telling them that they're late and the event already started. This is very important to do. A lot of people just do pre-event and post-event reminders, but mid-event reminders is something people neglect a lot, but contributes a lot to high show-up rate. So this was really good that it did. I think the reminder sequences were really good. But yeah, like I said, day 1, day 2 were very short, and then this is kind of what the sales pitch looked like. So it was just him sitting on a chair for like 30-40 minutes just selling the audience, breaking beliefs, pitching, telling them all the bonuses they get. So after the 3rd day of the event, this is how he drove traffic into his new offer, which was a mid-ticket offer called Scale 2.0, which was at a $1,000 price point. We'll get into that in just a second. But he ran retargeting ads to people who have attended for any one of the 3 days of the event. He also had a CTA in the bio of all 3 days of the event. He changed them all to something like this, where it takes them straight to the offer page. And he also sent a blast email to everyone who has opted in for the event. And I kind of did like a mini breakdown of what this email looked like. So what he's doing over here is pretty much just showing them that there's only one logical path moving forward. There's only 2 options and only one of them makes sense, which is to take action. He had a little bit of scarcity going on where he's like, because I'm giving you all of this, I have to limit the number of people who can receive Scale 2.0 and all of his bonuses, saying that there's a limit of people he can bring into purchasing that offer Scale 2.0, because there's a lot of value he's providing, which is really good because he provides a rationale as to why there's scarcity going on. And then he kind of breaks down the bonuses over here, and he has 3 CTAs and 1 email depending on what stage they are in reading the copy of the email. It's a pretty long email. I'd probably make it a little bit shorter, but this is like a mini breakdown. And he also sent blast SMSs to everyone who opted in for the event to check out the Scale 2.0 offer page, which looked something like this. So he had a little VSL video going on over here with the CTA, which is the exact 30-minute VSL video which he had on the 3rd day of the event with a little CTA. Then he had some opportunity cost copy plus CTA telling them what it looks like for them to take action, not take action, and where they currently are right now in their life, with a little CTA. Then he had a 90-day transformation of what they can expect after they join Scale 2.0. So pretty much what comes with it, with a little CTA. Then he mentions the bonuses that come along with Scale 2.0, and he positions a one-on-one onboarding call as a bonus. I'm gonna jump into this in just a second, but this is very strategic. If you're familiar with low to high ticket offers, you're already familiar with what he's potentially doing with this one-on-one onboarding call. Then he has a CTA going on. Then he breaks down the unique mechanisms or the pillars. Offers offer with a little CTA, and then offer summary of everything that comes along with this offer, and then the price point off Scale 2.0 alongside the CTA and a little FAQ section. They click get access now, where they get sent to a lead capture form. And this is good because it captures a lead. There's always resistance when it comes to that payment page. So it's easier to capture the lead's information before the lead hits that payment page, because there's a high likelihood that they could drop off, like only a percentage of people who actually register, purchase the. So what he does with the lead capture form, if they haven't purchased the offer, he puts like a little timer. I think it's like 30 minutes to an hour or maybe a little bit longer, where he hits them with an abandoned cart email and also sends them to an abandoned cart retargeting campaign, where they get hit with like retargeting email, pretty much saying that, hey, saw you're about to make the purchase, something's holding you back, and CTAs them back into the register page. And same thing with the abandoned cart email that he goes on over here. Otherwise, people click save my spot, and then they get sent to this payment page where they put in their information. He uses WAP as his payment processor, and if people want to finance the payments, if they want to break it up into like 12 months, they can use Split It or Sezzle. Those are his financing options. Then he repeats the same offer overview just in case people want to go back to the previous page, check out the offer overview, and then potentially drop them out. So he just put the offer overview on that same page, as well as the FAQ section. Like I said, it was a $1,000 mid-ticket offer where they get a free one-on-one onboarding call with a coach. And I'm 99% sure that when they do jump on this onboarding call with a coach, it's more than likely a sales rep. It's more than likely a sales rep that just walks them through the community and then pitches them on his $5,000, which is his main offer, which is pretty smart because his ICP, when it comes to the younger audience, they're very price sensitive because they don't have much capital to invest in programs and their mindset might not be there. So they're 3 to 4 times more than likely to purchase a $1,000 offer offer rather than straight to a $5,000 main offer. So still collecting cash on the front end, captures 3 to 4 times more leads than usual, and every single one of these leads gets on a one-on-one onboarding call where they get pitched the $5,000 main offer. And I'm pretty sure his sales pitch is that since they already put $1,000 down, the main offer gets cut by $1,000, which makes it $4,000 to get into his main offer. And obviously not everyone will purchase the $5,000 main offer, but he'll have a higher percentage of people purchasing the main offer. Maybe about like 20% I assume would probably purchase the main offer amongst everyone who kind of opted in to buy $1,000 offer. So he's able to stay profitable with his ads on the front end with $1,000 offer, and then makes more money in the back end, which is where he collects more profits from. But despite this really good funnel, I do think that he kind of messed up not teaching them enough or not giving enough value and kind of going the more cinematic breaking beliefs entertainment route. Because after this funnel, I assume this is pretty spontaneous that he did, but he held a webinar the next week, right? So he had the cart open. Typically for a challenge funnel, you would have a cart open just for 1 week, which is real scarcity, so they cannot get in even if they want to get in after you close the cart the next day. So you typically keep the cart open for like 6 days ish before you close the cart and stop taking in sales. But he had a spontaneous webinar. I assume that they did not make as much money as they wanted to, so they threw in a webinar because maybe the funnel didn't work out too well for them. And then he pretty much drove traffic to this webinar. This webinar was hosted on his YouTube channel, and he drove traffic pretty much from the same channels alongside ads. I think he did ads as well, but he had his YouTube bio, Instagram story sequences, and he also did like a WhatsApp call to action where he's like, yo, I'm hosting a free raw walkthrough on how to land your first client within the next 7 days. And this extended his cart opening by another week. If you want to listen to the Instagram post or the ad that he posted,
Monday 7 p.m.
this is what it was, and it kind of gives more information on the webinar.
Monday 7 p.m. EST, I'm going to show you guys how to actually sign your first client live. I'm going to stream for you guys to watch. I realized that during my 3-day cinematic movie premiere, I showed you guys like my life and where I came from and how I got to where I am today, but I didn't show you guys actually like within the business model freelance brand scaling, how to sign your first client and how to actually like start. Now, obviously that's what's inside Scale 2.0, but I figured why not for free stream and show you guys how you could actually go and sign your first client live. So that's what I'm going to do. Monday, 7 p.m. EST. We're going to send the link over to you guys, so make sure you're on the lookout for it. I will see you there.
So not bad. This is a very strategic move that they did spontaneously. They realized they didn't get the sales, so they probably used like a previous webinar to change the branding a little bit, and they hosted a webinar which is more value-based, which definitely probably got a decent amount of sales for them, and he extended the
Monday, 7 p.m.
and he extended the cart open. But that is pretty much the full breakdown, I think. Yeah, that's the full breakdown of Brez's challenge funnel. Hope you guys found this insightful. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more of these breakdowns. I tried to make it as in-depth as possible, but I'm gonna be doing Iman Ghazi's one next. I know he has a challenge funnel going on right now called Make Money 2.0, and that one, let me give you guys a little teaser. This is pretty much as far as I've gotten with the funnel breakdown. It's pretty extensive, but obviously there's more missing because the event just started. So be on the lookout. I'll be sure to post that one within the end of this week. Hope you guys found this insightful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next challenge funnel breakdown.